McMurray and Alberta have, over the years, before this week's appalling inferno, reached into the lives and improved the fortunes of hundreds and thousands of Canadians in every province. That deserves underlining at this moment. I'll be personal for a second. For example, when Newfoundlanders were crawling out of the shock and misery of the cod collapse, Fort McMurray was like a rescue center. Newfoundlanders in droves left house and home and went west. And as was the Albertan Fort Mac way, when people are hurting, all are welcome. Some of these were real friends of mine, and I know at their most difficult moments how much the Alberta welcome meant to them. It told me something. If you want to know, really know, what it means to be a true neighbour, ready to help in hard times, go to Alberta. It's the Prairie Code, and in our best times, it's the Canadian Code too. Every citizen is your neighbour. So here's the real karma in the Fort Mac tragedy, and it's not karma at all. Albertans were good to all of us back then. Let us be good and better to them now. There can be nothing higher or more immediate on our national agenda as citizens or government than generating a perfect storm of goodwill and assistance for the people of Fort McMurray as they shoulder the multiple burdens, personal, economic, and psychological, of this woeful calamity. Every decent heart in this country has been torn by the staggering pictures coming out of that province. An entire city essentially wiped out in days. The terrible wind-shifting walls of Wildfire. 88,000 people slow fleeing on the highway out. The terror and trauma of whole lifetimes being swallowed up in an instant. Families stranded between tears and fear. Tears for what has been so swiftly ripped from their lives, the homes, possessions, memories. Fear in the immediate moment of evacuation for life itself. I hesitate to say this because of the scale of the tragedy, but what commands even more awe are the smaller stories. The guys and gals with pickup trucks driving up and down the convoy with gas for stranded vehicles or food, water, words of comfort. The great sad face and greater character of the fire chief at Fort McMurray, Darby Allen. The young mother with her children in the grim cavalcade. She's weary, worried, but still so self-possessed. And another giving birth in a shelter. The Wild Rose leader, Brian Jean, and this is not political, losing his house in Fort Mac, but refusing to take a shelter bed and sleeping instead in the tent. The quite wonderful people of tiny grasslands. The natives of Fort Chip reaching out in the family restaurant, cooking up a storm. And of course, all the emergency people trying to manage the utterly unmanageable and managing it. No lives lost. Tragedy grinds the soul, but it also inspires. I cannot think of a place in Canada that has taken more shocks this last few years than Fort McMurray, or a people more severely bruised. But this is Alberta, remember. However high the flames, the spirit of the province is higher, brighter, and more enduring. Let the rest of us offer prayers and deeds in their support. For the National, I'm Rick Murphy.